Okay, hello, students. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Today marks the beginning of our leadership conference, and I want to welcome all St. Thomas O Student Association members, students, and this is our leadership conference. My name is Ernest Kogan, and I'll be your mediator for this exciting event. We are thrilled to have you all join us tonight and over the next 3 weeks as we explore the foundations of leadership, practical leadership skills, and leading in STOSA and beyond. Our conference is designed to empower St. Thomas alumni to recognize their leadership potentials and confidently pursue leadership roles within STOSA. We have curated an incredible lineup of speakers and panelists who will share their expertise, insights, and experiences with us. So without further ado, please join me to welcome our first speaker of the conference, being the person of none other than our own General Overseer, Mr. Felix Buabeng. Let's welcome Mr. Felix. Mr. Felix, you are welcome to the conference.
Thank you, Mr. Koga. It's really an honor to be given this opportunity to be before this August people to present what we know with regards to leadership. So good morning, our esteemed alumni, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to be before you today to discuss the topic of the day. It is not only close to my heart, but also is critical to the future of leadership, exploring modern leadership concepts and moving beyond traditional hierarchical models. It's an amazing topic. You know, the topic itself speaks volume, but we are going to take our time and dissect it. We might not finish all the aspects today, but in our subsequent modules, we will expatiate on each of their models for us to understand clearly. So, leaders has always been the cornerstone of progress, but as the world evolves, so must our understanding of what it means to lead. Today, we will dive into 3 key pillars of modern leadership: adaptability, emotional intelligence, and leading in a diverse world. Well, we will also explore how these concepts blend with traditional leadership, drawing lessons from both past and present leaders. So, first of all, I will have to define what a leader is, because when they ask who is a leader, leaders, there is this saying I came to hear growing up. We said leaders are born, but they are not made. I beg to differ. It's in both ways. Leaders can be born and leaders can be made. And even after you are born a leader, you must undergo certain leadership training to equip yourself, sharpen what you know, increase your capacity as a leader. Other than that, before you know, your leadership skill is being questioned. It's being questioned. So let's sit back and enjoy the topic. Now, first of all, leadership is a multifaceted concept that goes beyond simply holding a position of authority or managing a team. As it is a core, leadership is the ability to inspire, influence, and guide others toward a common goal or a vision. As a leader, when you have these three key things, your ability to inspire, to influence others towards a common goal, then you have it. So, what taken from that view, I always ask you, do you have any of these qualities in you? Are you able to mobilize people? Are you able to calm situations down when tensions arise? Your presence, does it command some kind of audience? Are you able to inspire people to go beyond their limits? Are you able, as it were, influence people as a leader, not because of what you are giving them, but because of certain qualities you have displayed? We are going to go deeper into this as we progress. Let's first take the first aspect that I wanted us to look at: adaptability. Adaptability. But before I come to adaptability, let's just explore the traditional hierarchical models. Let's explore and see. For decades, leadership was synonymous with hierarchical, a top-down approach where decisions flow from the top and followers execute without question. But in today's complex, fast-paced, and interconnected world, this model is no longer sufficient. Modern leadership is about collaboration, empowerment, and flexibility. It's about creating environment where everyone feels valued and heard regardless of their position. The rise of remote work, globalization, and rapid changing industries demands leaders who can adapt and inspire, not just dedicate. This brings us to the first pillar that we're going to deal with: adaptability, a new leadership approach. Adaptability is the ability to pivot, innovate, and thrive in the face of uncertainty. It is about being comfortable with discomfort and leading through change. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot, man. Because you are leading people comfortably. Meanwhile, you have a discomfort, but you have seen a greater picture ahead of you. So, as a leader, you put aside your discomfort and make sure that your people are comfortable. You know, this is something I see with our mothers. They can be very hungry, and there will be food. but they would want their children to eat first and get satisfied before it comes to them. They are feeling uncomfortable, but they will make the child feel comfortable. Let's think about the challenges we faced in recent years: global pandemics, technological disruptions, a shift in societal expectations. Leaders who succeed were those who embrace change rather than resist it. The change has come. There is nothing you can do. Like this COVID-19 that visited us in recent past. There is nothing anybody can do. But we have to, as a leader, adapt quickly, see opportunity in those challenges, and lead your people. No matter how uncomfortable you are feeling, make your team leaders feel comfortable. Why do we have to adapt? We adapt because we want to foster resilience in teams. And we want to encourage innovation and creativity. That is why we adapt. Because other than that, no, there is this wise leader whom I heard in one of his leadership conference, and he was talking about some category of people that he has employed. And then he was talking about the lazy employer. And I was like, as for if an employer is lazy, I think you don't entertain him because he will pull the team down. But he said that instead of you seeing that, look at a lazy employer. Whenever you give a tax to a lazy employer, he wants to find an easy way of doing the tax you are giving him. And such people leads innovation. And most innovation of this world came about as a result of such people, because you have given them tax. He sees it as the approach that is there is too Herculean, and he wants to find an easy way of achieving the same task that has been given to him. Hence, innovation. And I thought through what he said. I said, wow. Then I remember a story I heard when I was in secondary school, when computer started coming out. We went to one of our science resource center to learn, and the lecturer then said that there is a new technology in town. And we asked, what is it? He said, computer, Microsoft. And I said, what is Microsoft? What is that? He said, oh, Microsoft is a software, an OS, an operating system that has come to revolutionize how we can do things easy with computers. Then he said, before he goes into detail, he's going to talk about the founder of Microsoft. And he said he was a school dropout because they said he's not good. Like, and when that happened, this gentleman resolved that I would develop something that the so-called people who are brilliant will come and use that which I have created. And that gave birth to Microsoft. So somebody, they said, he's nothing. He can't do anything. Now innovated and came up with Microsoft. And now look at Microsoft. Look at its market value. All these years, over 25 years ago, so Microsoft OS is very, very relevant in our days today. So adaptability is a very powerful tool. And when you adapt, it also builds trust. As a team, see their leaders navigating challenges with confidence. So as your team sees you navigating through challenges, you are building trust in your team. So let's look at how we can cultivate adaptability. One of them is to stay curious and open to learning. This is a very serious thing that is worrying most of our leaders of today. When they get to a certain limit, they stop learning. They are not open to new things. I know they start saying that, oh, we there, our time has passed, so it is you, the young ones, and we have a lot of them at our workplaces. It's like they've come to the end of their lives, so they are not learning. But as a leader, you must always stay curious and should be open to learning new things. Another way is to encourage experimentation and accept failure as part of growth. You know, there are some leaders who are fixated on achieving your target. So it's like they don't pause to look at the bright side of things. Once you fail, he writes you off because he has a target and you will not help him achieve it. But leaders are not like that. They will encourage experimentation. And when you do and you fail, he does not condemn you, but he will sit you down and ask, so let's see what went wrong, where we had the challenge, how can we improve on the challenge, so that in your next experimentation, you are not going to come back with the same result, but you are going to come up with a result that is better than your previous. That is who a leader must be. You mustn't only be fixated to one side, but you should be versatile. You should adapt. Then another way of cultivating adaptability is to lead by example. Show your team that change is an opportunity, but not a threat. I remember the inception of AI, and then we met as colleagues and we were discussing about it, and then about 80% of my colleagues were saying, hey, this thing that is coming is going to take away jobs. It's going to take away jobs. A lot of people are going to be redundant. And then I looked at it, I said, guys, that's not it. Because if we look at it carefully, we will realize that it's something that is rather going to augment. So if you think that it's going to take out your job, then it means that you are not going to do anything about it. But if you see it as a challenge, a new change that has come, you embrace it, you explore it, you become a master of it. You have adapted. And if you are leading a team and they see you navigating through these challenges, because when a new technology comes or a new thing comes up, it is not easy. Because the one who invented it didn't go through it easy before bringing up. How much more you, the one that is learning or wants to learn, you will go through challenges, but you have to adapt and go through it. You go and hit a wall, you turn back, then you are adapting. You don't want to stay obsolete. But, you know, as we say, adaptability alone is not enough. It's one of the qualities that one needs to embrace. But you must also master one of the key component, the heartbeat of leadership, emotional intelligence. So this brings us to our next topic, a subtopic under leadership, which is the emotional intelligence, EQ. You know, EQ is the heartbeat of modern leadership, because after you have adopted and everything, you are good in adaptability and all stuff, and you don't have EQ, or your EQ level is low, it's kind of limits you in a certain way. So let's look at emotional intelligence. It is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions while also being attuned to the emotions of others. It is what separates good leaders from great ones. In fact, research shows that EQ accounts for nearly 90% of what sets high performance leaders apart. When research was conducted, I remember at my um, workplace when I first entered, one of the training they made me go through is about leadership training, and emotional intelligence came up, and the facilitators asked us to do a whole lot of things. They gave us questionnaires to answer them, and then after those questionnaires, they kept the results. And then whilst we were undergoing through the EQ, everybody's marks that he got in the first questionnaire that he answered or she answered reflected his personality whilst we were undergoing the training. So the facilitators were trying to let us understand that EQ is a very key component when it comes to leadership. And as a leader, you leading your team, you have to first know yourself. And whilst knowing yourself, you have to also be aware of the emotions of your team. Because if you piss off your team, you are going to pay for it. If you undermine the emotional intelligence of your team, you are going to pay for it dearly, because it's going to impede on their performance to the extent that you will not be able to get to where you want to get to. So this foundation of emotional intelligence is about understanding your own emotions. So now I am going to break emotional intelligence into SAPs. So one of them is self-awareness. The second one is self-regulation. The third one is social awareness. The fourth one is relationship management. I hope my audience are taking notes. So I will repeat the subcomponents of emotional intelligence. Self-awareness. 1. 2. Self-regulation. 3. Social awareness. And 4. Relationship management. So I want to ask my audience, how well do you know yourself? Because sometimes we may think we know ourselves until something happens. Then you realize that no, what you think you know, you don't. So emotional intelligence is a very, very important aspect of our role as being leaders. So self-awareness. You have to know your emotions and know their impact. Because when we talk of emotions, how we feel, what excites you, what makes you sad, what agitates you, what stresses you, and each of them have an impact, not only on yourself, but on the team that you are leading or at the workplace. Because even at the workplace as a team, the emotion of one individual can impact on all the team members. So as a leader, you have to know yourself and what the impact it brings to your team in the home, wherever, any circle you find yourself. Then you come to self-management, how you will manage your emotions. Because when you know your emotions and you know the impact it brings, I remember in my early years, I was teaching in a school, and we were three close friends in that school. And the rate at which we were influencing and leading activities in the school was very, very impactful. And within a short time, we became loved by the teachers. Even though we were very disciplinarian, we disciplined them so much. Every child, when he has a problem, we want to come to you and come and tell you his problem. So the school has this speech and prize giving day. They always organize, and it was also a form of generating income for the school. So myself and my colleagues were leading in different departments of that program, and we don't know what happened. And the owner of the school, the proprietor, called a meeting and spoke rudely to everybody, the staff. In fact, everybody, they were all not happy. I was not happy. But whilst he was blabbing and saying all these things, one thing I do is even when you are speaking hurtful words to me, I'll be smiling. The reason why I put up that attitude is that I do not want to react. Because when I get angry and I react, sometimes when I sit back and think about it, I do not like the outcome. I don't feel good. So I smile just to take in all that you are bringing out. And then after you are left and gone, I will now go and dissect them one by one. Try to understand why you said this, what you said this. And when it doesn't sit well with me, then I take a decision myself. And mostly I stay out of most of the activities that you could do. So after I processed this information very well, then I decided to stay out of the school's activities and business because I don't want you to come and get the opportunity to speak to me the way you spoke again. So I have to stay back because there is this adage in account which says that "Okonsu no boy." So one konsu na more. That means that the one, in the olden days we use this clay pot to go and fetch water. Sometimes in your way, either to or fro, you might slip, fall. If you're not lucky, your pot will break. So the elders point an adage around it, said the one who goes to fetch water is mostly the one that breaks the pot. So if I don't go and fetch the water, there will not be breaking of any pot. So I will stay away. So when my other friend said, but you, we are colleagues, we move together. If you are staying out, what should we also do? Then they also stayed out. And one of the ways we stayed out is that, they have rehearsal times for activities. And anytime those activities are going to be held, we are absent. We are not there. We'll come later. So this thing went on. And at the end of the day, the speech and prize giving day became a flop. The parents were very dissatisfied. They were not happy. So there was a PTA meeting and they started bashing the teachers. And then and there, I got to know the impact that action that we took had on the school. At that time, we didn't know anything called emotional intelligence, how to manage your emotions. If not, maybe we would have handled it better. So when you know yourself and you know the impact your emotions have, then you have to practice what we call self-management. And this is simply regulating your emotions in challenging situations. Then you come to social awareness, which is the third head of the emotional intelligence, the third component. You have to understand the emotions of others. And that is what we call empathy. Empathy. You don't stare a colleague or a friend or a teammate at the face, knowing exactly what he or she is going through and crack a joke out of it. No, that's not done. So you should understand. That is like, there is this scripture in the Bible that says you should uh, you should the Lord should guide you to be at the right place at the right time. You should be at the right place at the right time. That means that, as Solomon put it, there is time and season for everything. Because something that may seem good at a certain time, that very same thing, when you do it at certain times, is bad. So you should know when to crack a joke and when not to crack jokes. That is you being aware of your social setting, social environment. It means you have empathy. You come to work, one of your team members had his child admitted at the hospital. You don't look at him in the face and brush all those feeling that he's feeling aside and keep piling work upon work on him. When you do that, you are being insensitive. And your team leaders, your team members are going to tag you in a certain way. And trust me, you are not going to get the best out of them. And you are going to be at a disadvantage as a leader. The fourth aspect of emotional intelligence is relationship management. You have to build and maintain strong relationships. I always say that I prefer a boss who sees me every day in the morning and say, "Oh, guy, what's up? How are you? How is the family? How was your day? How was your weekend? How is everything? How is the family?" Than a boss who comes, you greet him, "Good morning." I say, "Oh, good morning. How are you?" Then he walk away. The next thing is that, okay, so today we have ABCD that we have to do. Our target is to make sure that we are able to pass all the cables and then we reach the destination and then we begin termination. Okay, so all of you disperse. Thank you. No, you do that, you are acting like a robot leader. You have to build a relationship and maintain that relationship. As a leader, it doesn't take anything away from you when you sit with your team and eat during lunch hour or sit down and discuss something, a break. It doesn't spoil anything, but rather your team that acts alone makes them feel accepted. That is a relationship. Now, I once worked with a certain boss. As we speak right now, anytime he calls me to come and do any work for him, anywhere, any day, I will ask permission from my current place and attend to him immediately. It's not because of anything, even though I'm no longer working with him, but the relationship is stuck with me all this while. He can move his car and just come and visit you in the house. And when he come, you said whatever food you said and give it to him, he will not eat. He want to eat with you. Whilst you are eating, you are talking, you are discussing something. If you have done something that he disapprove of, he takes the opportunity after everything and said, "Oh, Felix, the last time the way you approached this issue, I didn't like it. It felt some way, and I really wish that next time you approach it in a nicer way because I thought you were very hard and it didn't feel good." I said, "Wow, this is a leader." So in your naming ceremony, he is there. He just wants to represent. It's not because he's your boss, but because there is a relationship. In wherever his hometown is, when there is funeral, you would go. Whatever you are doing, you will stop and go because he was there for you when you needed him. So when he also needed you, you should be there for that. Is a relationship that has been built and is being maintained. So I will ask you, my audience, do you have emotional intelligence? Do you relate well with your team members and your team leader or your team as a leader? How do you resolve conflicts with your team? Do you create an atmosphere where gossip becomes part of your team? Would you like it if you are walking into a room where your team members are and you hear that they are talking about you and they are not good things? How will you feel? The same way you will feel, you should also know that if you encourage gossip in your team, as you are encouraging some people to come and gossip about others to you, the same way they will gossip about you in your absence. I once have a boss. Whilst you are there before him talking to him, in his presence, in your presence, you just call the person you are talking about you and put it on loudspeaker. I said, "Oh, Kwame said that the cable that we were using, you took the leftover home. Is that true?" then you are there. So with that, then he did 1, 2, 3. Now people became afraid. So nobody would want to go and seek favor in his sight by going to spoil others. So as a leader, what environment are you creating around your team? Is it a healthy one or a toxic one? And it takes a leader with intelligence, emotional intelligence, to realize these things and make sure that the right settings, the right environment are created. Now, I would bring my lesson on emotional intelligence because I would later delve deep into it in our subsequent leadership conference. I will pause here and I will ask my audience before I move to the next question, the next aspect of leadership. Do you have any question for me? Please send them and let us all answer them together. Thank you. I'll move on to the next one, which is leading in a diverse world. Because as a leader, you have to lead in a diverse world, a world where there's so much dynamics. The dynamism is overwhelming. So overwhelming. All right. So I will move on to our last topic under leadership that we are treating today. Diversity is no longer a buzzword. It's a reality. Our world is more interconnected than ever. And leaders must be equipped to navigate culture, generational, and ideological differences. Why is diversity matter? Why does it matter? When you are leading a team of diverse people, you get more innovation and creativity. And it brings a wider range of perspectives and solutions to the table. Then the team also reflects the globalized world that we live in. Because this diversity will give your team, because it's a platform you have created for the team to discuss, to talk about issues. And with all these ideologies, culture, and generations, because our generations, now they said we are in the Gen Zs. What some of them comes up is amazing, because these Gen Zs, the next future is theirs. So as a team leader, if you have this category of people in your team, it presents an opportunity to you to look at them, design a strategy, make the transition from your generation to their generation a smooth one. And that is one of the diversities, because your generation is going, their generation is coming. Their transition should be smooth. You should put structures down there that will help them to succeed, because you cannot be there forever. You will leave. Once you understand that concept that you cannot be there forever, then you should start grooming the next generation to take over from you. And the mark of a true leader, a great leader, is your impact in your absence, not the impact in your presence. That one, we have a lot of people who are doing eye service. Because you are there, they will wait for you to see they are working. But when you are not there, what is your impact? That is the mark of a true leader. So when you embrace diversity and you bring all these people on board, you listen to them, you share ideas, it brings a wide perspective of solution onto the table. How do you learn this our diverse world? How will you learn to lead in this? You have to cultivate cultural competence. What do I mean by cultivate cultural competence? You should educate yourself about different cultures, traditions, and perspectives. For example, you are a team in a marketing company and you have been tasked to develop a new product. You look at your product, because you are diverse in culture and tradition. You look at the product, then you target a certain group of people in a certain location. In certain settings, some things are termed abomination there. So when you are sending a product to them, you make sure that you do not have anything that the people in that area detest. How will you know that? Unless you educate yourself about the people you are trying to sell a product to. The second aspect of how to learn in how to lead in a diverse world, you have to foster inclusivity by ensuring that everyone has a voice and feels respected. Because in your team, we have a lot of people from different backgrounds. Different backgrounds. When you come to my team, for example, we have different backgrounds. Northerners, Ewes, Fantis, Gans, Ekwapims. All of them have a way of seeing things differently. How do you listen to all of them? Put them together so that nobody will feel offended or rejected or left out. So you have to foster inclusivity. You have to do that as a leader. You have to allow everybody to speak. Even if what they are speaking does not necessarily make sense, don't shut them down. Listen to them. If you dismiss them outrightly, a time is coming when you are seeking for opinion from your team members. They will not talk. And this, our world, is moved and controlled by information. How do you get information? From people, from books, from social media, from training, such as the one we are doing. But when your team members are not talking, when they are not discussing, you alone will be doing the discussing. And I'm telling you, when you are doing statistics and your sample rate is large, you tend to get quality. But if your sample rate is narrowed, it doesn't reflect the general view of what you are seeking to do. There is a limitation. So when you foster inclusivity, it helps you as a leader. Also, another way to lead in this our diverse world is to challenge biases. Both your own and those within your organization. You have to challenge it. Questions have to be asked. Ideas have to be subject to scrutiny in a positive way. So when you challenge biases, for example, we are taking a decision and some particular people have taken a posture, and the posture is going to be detrimental to the progress of the team. You have to challenge that posture, ask questions, probe them, ask them to find out from them why they have taken that posture. If it is not good, tell them that, guys, what you are doing, I think it will hurt all of us. Because sometimes we take a decision and we think that our actions and inactions will only affect some people, but us it will not. But you see, the law of karma says that to every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. Throw the ball at the wall, it will come back to you. So whatever decision that you are taking today, and you don't think about the future or your team, and you, the leader, you don't challenge it, especially when the bias is coming from a particular section of your team members who are very productive. You are afraid that when you talk about it, they may not put up their backs. Hey, find a way to address it. If not, that is going to become a social canker. It's going to be a pillar for you to deal with it in the future. And it will, or it has the tendency of breaking your team. So as a leader, you should challenge biases. You don't fuel it, you challenge it in a positive way. Your own biases, if you take a certain stand, question yourself that this posture I've taken, is it in the interest of my team? You should think about it. If your organization has taken a certain bias or a certain posture, which is at the detriment of the welfare of your work, of your team members, of the workers, as a team leader, you can approach your management and have a discussion. I don't believe in this era that we are experiencing in our country that you have to insult authority before you send your message across. That's not a proper way. I learned from Dr. Mensa Otabil, the general overseer of ICGC, that he said when he was working, he always find a nice way of disagreeing with his boss about a decision or an issue that is emanating. Respectfully, he said he will not shout on top of his voice, he will not insult, but in a nice way, he will make his case known to you. And I think that is the best. Because if I use myself as an example, if you want to discuss something with me and you start with an insult, I'm not sure I will listen to you. So as team leaders, as team members, when we have a bias and we want to address it, it shouldn't start with a quarrel or an insult. We can do it in a healthy environment. All too soon, we are bringing our today's section to an end. And as I'm closing, I will say that the leader of the future is not defined by their title or position, but by their ability to adapt, connect, and inspire. They are emotionally intelligent, culturally aware, and committed to creating environments where everyone can thrive. That is the leader of the future. As an alumni of this incredible institution of ours, we have the tools and the responsibility to lead in this new era. Let's embrace those modern leadership concepts and redefine what it means to lead. Thank you. And I look forward to hearing from your thoughts, and questions. Thank you very much. Mr. Koga, I hand over to you. Thank you.
All right. There we have it. STOSA. I believe that here, Mr. General Secretary took us to a great school of thought. I believe so many things were new to some of us, and some of us we know, but it is just necessary and good to send your questions about that. I learned in life that smart people ask questions, no matter what. Thank you very much, Mr. General Overseer, for
being point of correction. General Secretary, not General Overseer.
General Secretary, sorry. You see, I'm so excited. I'm too excited, and I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
So, thank you for exploring our topic today, and we learned about adaptability, emotional intelligence, and leading through diversity in our modern world. And I believe that this video is going to be available on all the platforms very soon. And if you miss it, please go down the comment section and ask a question. We have so many questions, and this is day one, and we can't wait to continue with the day two. And we want to thank you again. As we draw the curtain, I would like to thank all students for the great work that you are doing to help this association. We want to send a great shout out to our president in the name of what is his name? Yes,
Mr. Andrew Sawuja.
Awuja, and all the IEC members for helping us to put this together, and then the media team and all the committees in STOSA as well. Yeah, so today we are bringing this to an end, and we can't wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is also another day. You know what? This is going to go on for 3 weeks, and this is, gearing towards our elections. And I believe that it is just good to give the chance to Mr. General Secretary once more to talk to us about the upcoming elections. Can you please have the floor? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest. I am privileged once again to be part of this great movement called STOSA. We have come this far. It's been years we struggled to put this association in place. And by the grace of God, everything has been moving on smoothly, and an interim executives were put in place to steer the affairs of STOSA all these years. And now the opportunity has come for us to elect executive officers to manage the affairs of the association in the next 4 years. I would indulge on each and every member of STOSA to pick up a nomination form and contest in any position that you want. There are no restrictions. The only restriction are that you should be a registered member. And for you to be a registered member, we have a link on our page, which will lead to the Google form where you would fill the form and become a member. No money is involved for the registration. And then you should not be owing dues. According to our constitution, you should not be owing any dues. You should pay your dues, which is 10 cedis per month. And we started just this January. So if you have not paid your dues, it means as at February today, you are owing 20 cedis. Wow. Wow. 20 cedis for 2 months. You see, we believe as IEC that with all of our collective effort, we can make STOSA a great institution like the other institutions that we've been hearing of. When they are doing old school reunion, you can see the enthusiasm. And if you have attended some of the old school reunion before, the way you see big men from this institution who have come together, and when you listen to their story, how they started and how they've gotten here, most of those that started like the way we have started ours are not even alive. But because they started on a good foundation and laid down the procedures, it has linked on up to now, and everything is moving smoothly. So if you have in you the ability to lead, whether you are from 93-year group all the way up to 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023 year group, the only year group that we will ask you to sit back is 2024 year group, that we say you sit back because you just completed school. But apart from that, all year groups, you have the opportunity to pick up a nomination form. If you are going for a secretary and the president, you have an amount you would pay. If you are going for any of the other positions too, you have an amount that you will pay. And when you are submitting your nomination form, also you have an amount that you pay. And when you put all these two amounts together, they are not even up to 200 Ghana cedis. And we put money to this because what it is election, logistical issues. We are a young association. We don't have enough funds. As I put up on the page the other time, that the association for all these years have been running on the pockets of individuals. Now it's time for all of us to contribute our widow's mite to help grow the association. So your money you are picking for nomination form, for all this, they are money that are going to be used to run the elections. And it's just money which is less than 200 Ghana cedis. I think it's either 640, either 60 cedis, 40 cedis for picking up nomination form and a submission of nomination form. And then 80 cedis, 600 cedis. 80 cedis, 60 cedis, which is very, very, very affordable. I'm sure when the association grows, these monies will be revised. Please, we have an able electoral commission and its able electoral chairperson who are handling our election affairs. So if you have any question with regards to all that I have said, when you come to our social media pages, you have the right people to ask the questions and they will provide you the answer. Please don't be left out. If you are a STOSA or if you completed St. Thomas Senior High Technical School and you are not part of this movement, you are not on our pages, you haven't registered, please do so, so that all of us will be part of it. And let me say one thing. You know, we all have one reservation or the other when it comes to these associations. But I can assure all of you that these associations that are being formed, the individuals benefit more than the institution. To be honest, because you, the individual, how much can you, an individual, use to do a
All right, guys. I believe that we are getting ready to wrap up, and yes, as you said, we have to understand what STOSA is and what we are doing. You know, we have a great thing going on here. So there is no scam in this. This is very legit and genuine, fully backed by the school board, and we have able men, we have renowned professionals, engineers in our midst, and I believe that you have the message already. Our elections are coming up. We need the funds coming in. We need the deals coming in. But drawing the curtain for today or tonight, I would love to thank you for joining and putting your comment there. Please go on the YouTube and subscribe to our channel for more programs. As you can see, we have a lot of things. We have a lot of programs, and we have the business community. They'll have the program. I mean, we have so many communities coming up. We have different type of cakes. We don't have only one type of cake. We have the blue, red, all colors. We have the salty, a little bit salty, and all flavors. We have honey cake. Everything is in the oven, and it's been baked daily. STOSA is great, and STOSA shall be great. Let's work towards this thing. Shout out to everybody. Thank you very much, and may God bless everybody. When I say STOSA, it says search, find, and work for the truth, and work with the truth. See ya. Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.